Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement, then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the AnomicAge, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the AnomicAge, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the JohnAge project at AnomicAge.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Selling real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the JohnAge Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the AnomicAge, and I am your host, JohnAge. Happy to be back with you once again in the dark side of the AM. Hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State, I will be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global, Luciferian death cult of pedophiles. Check out AnomicAge.com if you've not already done so. Like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. PayPal.me/AnomicAge, Patreon.com/AnomicAge as well. Please like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions if you can do no more. We got the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, the Cash App, and so much more. In case you missed it, I'm on pretty much every social media platform you could ever hope to find me on. So do so. And consider subscribing and liking all that stuff too. Got to tell you, I'm on the Instagram, and I don't think anybody's on there but me. At least on my channel anyway. So check out the Instagram too. It's all up there if you want to check that out. All right, the goodies for this evening, folks. I don't even hardly know where to begin. Make Israel Great Again is the title of this evening's episode. And I think I must have just missed it last night when I put out the show. The show that is titled War is Fun. I'm sorry, I'm conflating Make Israel Great Again with the previous episode, War is Fun. And I swear, man, I don't think... Never mind. I almost feel like I need to say, this might be satire. You know, like... Because unless I say, this is satire, people are missing the forest for the trees, which, I mean, I guess maybe is emblematic of the larger problem in our society. But yes, it was satirical last night. The title of the show being War is Fun, when the entire show was about how unfun the war actually is. Anyway, so yeah, it was satirical. In case you missed it, tonight's show is satirical as well. I don't seek to make Israel great again. I don't think we should make Israel great again. And when I heard that Donald John Trump chose yesterday to put in these airstrikes for these big bunker buster bombs or whatever on several of these big nuke sites in Iran... You'll forgive me if I conflate Iran with Iraq, because to me this seems all too suspiciously similar to everything we went through in about, 2001, when we had the false flag of 9/11, and then miraculously all these body scanners just showed up. It's like they were made or something before the event. They just popped up out of nowhere. You had all these TSA agents with TSA uniforms, and it's like it just popped up out of nowhere. And then we immediately went into a post-9/11 world. We'll never be the same against post-9/11 world. Oh, yeah. Spooky, right? So I can't help but think we're getting drawn into the same sort of malarkey again, because we got Palantir. People, I guess, just don't realize that all your data is already being housed and stolen in threat fusion centers, and every social media platform's taking your data, your phone, your pod, your car, your coffee maker too. All your privacy is gone. No second, first, or any amendment for you. No. That's pretty much what's up, folks. Person, papers, and effects, not so fast. Post 9/11 world. Remember that? That was all that fun. Patriot Act, anyone? The most unpatriotic crap you can think of. And I'm pretty sure that old J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel are going to pull us into another deal
with Palantir. What do you think? Because I'm pretty sure in a few we'll be in a post whatever the latest false flag is world, due in no small part to bombing the bleep out of Iran, I guess. Don't worry, it was very strategic. It was surgical precision and very strategically done to just take out their nuclear capabilities. It's so funny because you would have to think that the American people are the dumbest people alive to fall for this mess, or you would have to think that the Iranian, I mean, granted, inbred Muslim people are the dumbest people alive to, I guess, put all their eggs in a few baskets. Like, that's what they did, really? And then immediately you have lovely folks like Kim Jong-il or Un or whatever. I know Un was the dad and Il is the son. So whatever. He's immediately going, don't worry, if you guys got your nukes taken out, I'll give you some nukes. I don't like that guy calling me Rocket Man. I mean, come on, folks. Some of the Trump stuff is funny, and then some of it's just downright disrespectful. If you actually want these people to respect you, then maybe you shouldn't at least publicly thumb your nose at everything, you know. Maybe that's just a bad look. That's what I think, but, you know, what do I know? So immediately when this thing popped off, the old show, Gomer Pyle, and the predecessor, you know, a spinoff from the Andy Griffith Show, you had the late, great, well, you know, the actor that played Gomer Pyle, late, great, whatever. But anyway, that immediately rung true because when I heard about this bombs dropping, I immediately just went, well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Didn't see that coming, did you? So I made a lovely graphic for that this evening, which kind of encompasses it all, I do believe. Took out the background, added some bombs, some bunker buster bomb explosions. And I had Sergeant Carter saying, you will die for Israel in another undeclared war. Here's the deal, folks. In case you missed it, I'm just going to put some graphics on the screen and we'll just go through them. How's that sound, huh? Here goes. Because immediately, it's become so obvious, folks, in case you missed it, that all the media is indeed controlled. I mean, we knew that already, right? But I think somehow people thought, well, the alternative media, that's not controlled. I mean, Charlie Kirk's going out there and live, whatever these other programs are, I don't even know. There's so many now. It's just hilarious. That's what's so flippin' funny, folks. There's so many folks out there who have the same MO, the same modus operandi. The same Israel first at all costs, America first, but really Israel first. They've got the same sort of like wood cut out American flag behind them. They've got the Gadsden flag behind them. They've got an American flag everywhere they can put one. It's kind of like the SWAT team fellas that have every single piece of armament and equipment on their rifle es posible. It's downright hilarious. But I think somehow people thought, you know, at least 20 years ago, everyone should have understood Operation Mockingbird, the church committee hearings, and all that fun stuff from the mid to early 1970s from the Frank Church committee hearings. And they should have already known this. And then when Barry Soetoro left office, one of his final things was, of course, to legalize propaganda contra los gentes de los Estados Unidos. Yeah, to legalize propaganda against the American people again. That was one of his final little goodies in the goodie bag, don't you know? So after all that, I think people began to think, well, the mainstream media is bogus and a bunch of bull butter. But the alternative stuff, now that's real. And then somehow overnight, you had these large patriotic followings, and you had these different, what do they call themselves nowadays? Propagandists. Oh, no, that's too obvious. Influencers. Yeah, there's a string of conservative influencers, and they all have the same MO. They've all got a beard. They've all got a Gadsden flag, American flag cut out behind them. You know the deal. Same message, Israel first, while simultaneously saying America first. Super right wing, although tolerant of everything, allegedly. It's just so obvious, folks. So somehow they're all legitimate contras to the mainstream media, somehow. Even though they all have the same talking points and say the same doggone things. So how is that possible, folks? So immediately after Trump baby bombs Iran, yeah, there we go. Again, getting the two Iran and Iraq confused, because this is just like Groundhog Day. This 20 years apart. 26 almost years apart. Anyway, back to the story at hand. So you've got them spouting off the same talking points. And it kind of reads just like the image that you're seeing on the screen. Signs you're in a cult. The leader is never wrong, no matter what. You know, he's portraying military strength. It's 5G chess. He's drawing them out. It's really going to be sealed indictments again, man. Q's got it all. Trump's in a bunker somewhere, and all these people are really just already dead, and there's aliens involved, and there's people with masks and clones and the whole nine yards. It's all a sham. You know. Criticizing and questioning the leader is considered what? Persecution? What? Yeah, I mean, I've seen that left, right, and otherwise, folks. A guy I just started following the last couple weeks. A really bizarre exchange, but I'll leave that alone. Yeah, he was saying much the same thing. You know, if you dare to criticize Chairman Trump, then you are immediately leftist. You're immediately a blue-haired, big, fat, tranny lesbian or something. That's the new thing. So if you dare to criticize the regime, then it's your fault. Like, you're the bad guy. Anything the leader does is justified. See there? It's totally justified, right? I mean, it's America first, but even though he says Israel first, it's totally okay. Yeah. The leader is the only source of truth. Ah, sí, por supuesto. It's only the leader that can be real and truthful. So, I mean, 2 or 3 months ago this time, you know, they had the leader of Twitter, which is now X. Ooh, Elon was everybody's best friend. But then he came out and criticized orthodoxy. So right away, no mas bueno. You're out of here, buddy. Followers must be blindly devoted. Blindly devoted. Can't question. You always have to pledge your allegiance to Trump. Because he's smarter than you. He's richer than you. And by proxy, I guess he's better than you. So, can't question. You know, you just always got to follow the man. Because he's never been wrong. I mean, he could be the Jesus incarnate. This could be the second coming. We don't know. Could be. But if you question it, you're probably a bad guy. So there's that. I mean, that was just downright silly, but truthful. That's how people really feel. And for the record, no, I'm not a leftist. And no, I'm not a Republican. I just tend to follow the Bill of Rights, Constitution, believe in God, and believe in putting America first. And be nationalistic even. Oh, my goodness. And be isolationist even. Oh, my gracious. I actually believe George Washington when he said no more foreign entanglements. Let's cut this mess off at the knees, you know, a couple hundred years ago. I'm actually for the folks that were against the Townsend Acts and the T-tax. You know, that itty-bitty tax? And now we're paying upwards of like 40% tax. And everybody's just... sit back and relax. Have a couple beers. Those Dallas Cowboys on your TV. All those Jello Biafra notes from the dead Kennedy's days, you know. But I digress. We got more, folks. Let me give you some more. because somebody's going, what are you talking about? This is from 2007, March of 2007. General Wesley Clark retired for four-star U.S. Army General, Supreme Allied Commander of NATO 2. We should all sit up straight and strut around because this guy's better than you too. You know, he dedicated his life. He's better than you. He wants to kill all these people. He's better than you. What are you questioning this guy for? Quote here, we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq, then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off with Adonde clase? I know. Iran. Yeah. The U.S. war against the Middle East were planned long before 9/11. You doggone tootin' they were planned long before 9/11. How far back were they planned, Juan? Let me take you over here. Not that page. Nay, this page. Yeah, this is talking about what I referenced yesterday. The PNAC document. The Project for a New American Century. This whole thing was going down from 1997 all the way to 2006. This was Rumsfeld, Cheney, Wolfowitz, and Bush, baby. The W variety. That's where these boobs come into play. And if you're wondering, let me scroll down for you because I know somebody's getting their panties in a wad here. America's plan after 9/11, taking out 7 countries in 5 years. I see, classe. This is an old article from 2023, but it's really just telling you everything from the PNAC documents, which were revealed over 25 years ago. We need a new Pearl Harbor to galvanize public opinion so we can go out and take these suckers out. Yes, folks, that's right. After alarming truth revealed by retired U.S. 4-star General Wesley Clark, that was the plan, folks. That's right. That was the plan. Jeez Louise. It wasn't actually revealed by Wesley Clark. I mean, this was in the PNAC documents. It's everything I just said, folks. It was in the PNAC documents. Way back, folks. Way back. Wesley Clark just said it again in 2007. This was a plan. Rumsfeld, Cheney, Wolfowitz. That was the plan. W. That was the plan, folks. And we just pretty much swept the chessboard here. We got Iran. We've already had forces in all the aforementioned countries, folks. We've already done our little bombing campaigns in these different places. That's the plan, folks. That's the plan. My goodness, how much clearer do I have to say it? But wait, there's more. We want some more. We got some more. Let's roll over here. This is from old Trump, baby. Just yesterday, actually. At this point, it was yesterday. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MEGA, make Israel great again? How much clearer does Trump have to say, folks? Good grief. And I had to fact check this myself because I just didn't believe this. I had a number in my brain. I didn't think it was right. And before we went live today, I really did have to fact check this my darn self. The U.S. provides Israel with approximately $3.8 billion with a B billion in military aid annually. This aid is part of a 10-year Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU, signed in 2016. Who was president then? I can't recall. which outlines the commitment to provide $3.3 billion in foreign military aid financing, FMF, and approximately $500 million for missiles defense. It extends through 2028, which is why I said yesterday that this great golden dome or whatever it is should be called the American Dome, because we paid for it, folks. Our tax dollars paid for it, along with the rest of the $3.8 billion with a B for a country that ain't even as big as New Jersey, folks. Why? You got to ask yourself why, don't you? Does it need to be any clearer who's running things? I just don't think it has to be any clearer. Because we give billions, 3.8 apparently, to a little place smaller than New Jersey. I have no clue how many billions we've urinated away in the Ukraine. I have no clue. I've lost count. And at this point, what difference does it even make? It's just like you're just the magician kind of pulling the scarf out of his sleeve. And you're like, when's this thing going to end? It doesn't matter at this point now, does it? 1 billion, 2 billion, 3.8 billion. I mean, nobody seems to give a rat's, right? Because after all, our ancestors got a little hot under the collar and did the Boston Tea Party and so much more over the Townsend Acts and the tea taxes and some stamp taxes. We don't even give a rat's patoot about 3.8 billion. We don't even give a rat's patoot about the lost millions and billions to the Ukraine. That Voltaire quote sounded more true all the time, and I know somebody out there is going to fact check me. It wasn't Voltaire. He was a racist. It was really Hitler. It was really whatever else cartoon character that you want to paint as the worst person in the universe. To me, that might be Mao, but then we'd have to admit that we put Mao in control of China. And, man, yeah, he's got over 80 billion, their own estimates, killed. That might be Stalin and Lenin and Trotsky, but then you'd have to admit that their big, 60-ish mil, well, that's a whole lot bigger than the 6 mil, allegedly, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm a bad mathematician. Maybe I'm just muy malo con matemáticas, so yo no sé, pero... The math ain't mathing to me, folks. But what is mathing is that clearly the Voltaire quote is true. You got to figure out who you can't criticize, and that's exactly who's controlling you. So, you can criticize the white guys, the males, and the Christians, and the heterosexuals, and just about anybody in between. But you know who you can't criticize, don't you? Yep, el elefante en el cuarto. Yep, you can't criticize that old big elefante. Can't do that, folks. So apparently MIGA is the rule, don't you know? Let's see what else we got on the big platform of the evening. We got this one, huh? Vance says U.S. not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. Wouldn't this be the program that we set them up with, gave them, Kind of like when we were at war with Saddam and those alleged weapons of mass destruction. And everybody was fretting over these gas attacks, but nobody figured out where the gases came from. Muy extraña clase, muy extraña. President Trump said Saturday night that the U.S. had dropped bombs on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. The first time the U.S. has directly attacked Iran. Yeah, usually we do this kind of mess in all those aforementioned 7 countries with proxy armies and setting up people and, controlling their elections and putting in proxy forces in and false flagging things. That's our usual MO. But I guess this time it wasn't quite Operation Ajax a la Mohammad Mossadegh. This time it was just kind of direct action, direct kinetic action at that. But if you missed that, don't worry, because you can just look on social media and everybody will tell you how great it was. It was a great success. They've got the bombers flying home and everybody's yay team. We got them. The Toby Keith, red, white, and blue song, I mean, even though that guy was a Democrat for decades, somehow, he put out a propaganda piece and everybody's just, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. It really is that easy to control the American populace. It really, really, really is. Because people want to back a winner. People want to back the Lakers and the Celtics. People want to back like the team that's doing best. So whenever the team that's doing best is doing the best, everybody else wants to follow the leader. So regardless of the atrocities committed, everybody thinks, we're weapons superiority and military might, and we're winning through strength. I suppose until China, Russia, or North Korea have had enough of their bully tactics and just start lobbing some of that stuff across the Atlantic or Pacific, don't you think? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a supreme isolationist, but I actually follow pretty well in line with a lot of the founding fathers, and I think, no more foreign entanglements. Sounds like a good idea to me. Close the bases, bring the troops home, and put them on our own borders that are getting invaded 8 days a week and twice on Sunday from various sub-Western mess holes. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me being crazy. What do you think? Any thoughts on that, folks? So it all seems to be very reminiscent of a 9/11 take two. This will usher in a new police state after the false flag pops off or what have you. And of course, people for some reason think that Iran is like we invaded, I don't even know. They think it's like Gulf War I, or they think that we've somehow like invaded the Bahamas or something, Like this nation doesn't have military might, doesn't have any military backing or, any military strength on its own. It's like we dropped bombs on Bermuda, we got them, Bo, we're going home and celebrate, crack open a cold, and we're going to listen to some Toby Keith, and everybody in the comments is going to say attaboy. And if you don't say attaboy, well, you're a blue-haired, commie, fat piece of trash, and we don't care about you. Like, that's kind of the mentality of it. It's very myopic. It's very stupid. But I got to say, pretty doggone predictable. Like, that's really how dumb most people are. So, you got the people that are like, this is not right. That's not to say that the people that say this is not right, they're not blue-haired communists. They're not for AOC or Biden or something. It's like people have this short-sighted blind spot where they don't understand or cannot compute non sequitur that, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. We don't have to be like, oh, well, I'm a Christian and I also like wear sandals and have a Jesus robe. You can be a Christian without wearing hippie sandals and having a Jesus robe. You know what I mean? So, like, you can be a Christian and a conservative but not be a Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a Christian and a conservative but not want to go to war. I mean, that seems to be pretty doggone Christian to me. Like, not going to war seems like a good idea. Not bombing away third world countries just because you can. Like, that seems like a pretty good idea to me. But we've somehow lost any sect of the populace that's actually anti-war. Because I touched on this yesterday, but 60s, 70s, and so on, like the left commie fruit bats were anti-war, and then the right wing was pro-war. I mean, allegedly, if you just followed the script, right? But now you've got the left is pro-war, the neocons, which pretty much constitute the right, pro-war. But there's the weird blind spot. So if you're actually a constitutionalist, a Christian, or what have you, and you're just anti-war, then like where does that put you? It's weird, folks. It's really weird. I mean, for me, it's simple because it puts me in the same spot I've always been in. In the I don't fit into your club, or the more poignantly, I'm not in your cult category, okay? So I'm comfy with that, and I just want to let everybody know, like, I'm comfy with that. I'm not a Republican. I'm certainly not a Democrat. I'm certainly not pro-AOC or Tlaib or any of these other fruit bats, all right? That's not my cup of tea. But I also happen to be not pro-war, not pro-death, not pro-America imperialism, not pro-global police force for the blipping globe. It's flat, man. I don't care what it is, all right? I could care less if we're on a hexagon. I'm not pro going to war with everybody just because you think we can. I'm definitely not for protecting Israel at all costs. You know who I'm for protecting at all costs? America. And the legal citizens therein. That's it. So if the rest of the world wants to play hide the nuke or blow up the map, that's really not my deal, folks. It really isn't. I'm a complete isolationist. I'm a complete, we don't need to be in this war, anti-war guy. I'm a very pro-American guy. I'm a very pro-Constitution, limited government. Let's get these assorted nuts out of office kind of guy. Just so you know where we stand. So, surprise, 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 you will die for Israel in another undeclared war. Because it's only a matter of time. They're already closing the Strait of Hormuz. The economic recovery that was about to happen because of the tariffs is gone. So now, not only are we not in an economic recovery, not only are gas prices going to soar, not only is everything just going to come crashing down around us, really about now, folks. Might as well play that old Hulk Hogan song, comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Yeah, that's what's feeling. It's feeling like that in a couple days, folks. Then we're just going to need some petty excuse to put troops on the grounds. Why not? I mean, we've already got the whole Middle East surrounded by bases. We may as well use them and put troops on the ground. Because after all, we got another country to check off from the PNAC documents, right? Another country to check off from the old PNAC documents. Then what? Then where are we going to go? You're right. We're going to go wherever Israel tells us to go. That's right. So there you go. I mean, I've covered this on the show before. I saw someone else mentioned this earlier, but yeah, like Netanyahu, that ain't his real freaking name, folks. This guy grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Check out the Big Read 7777, whatever it is on Instagram. Tons of great information there. I think they took most of his old content down, but he went over this whole Netanyahu crap. That's not his name. I mean, people know this, but I mean, then again, the average person doesn't know how to boil an egg. So, again, therein lies the problem. No scope of history, no scope of reality. Way too much information on Netflix and your favorite show and your sports team and whatever else, you know. It's just a sad, sad world, folks. It really is sad. So if I were you, I'd try to get some gas and try to stock up on supplies and, stock up on the things you need. Because I have a whole heck of a bad feeling we're going to be in some more conflict here in a little bit. What's that, Mossadegh idiot? No, I'm sorry. Khomeini, whatever the leader of Iran is, I've lost track of everything, not to mention it's 3:38 in the a.m. So, but it's basically going to be open season now. They're already saying, okay, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz and we're going to tell all those sleeper cells to fire up, Bo. Get ready to get some killing in America. And they'll probably start lobbing some stuff across there at us too. So, real smart, Trump. Real smart, buddy. You really showed them. Yeah. Sad, sad times. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the Anomic Age.
Thank you for listening to the Anomic Age, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the Anomic Age.
Thank you.